Yeah, actually, yeah, this is better, cause this movie, so the very popular gaming franchise Mortal Kombat is back with another live action adaptation. And I'm a Mortal Kombat fan. I'm a huge gamer. I remember playing it even back in 1992 when it first came out. And I even got the most recent edition of the game, Mortal Kombat 11. And while I do kind of feel like as I've gotten older, I think I've grown out of fighting games in the sense that at least my personal aesthetic is more action RPG oriented, but I still am a fan of the Mortal Kombat franchise to the point that when a new game comes out, I'm gonna play it because I want to know what's happening within the world of Mortal Kombat. So I say all that to say that when I found out that Mortal Kombat was getting another crack at a live action franchise, I was excited because I really enjoy the Mortal Kombat world and lore and all the characters involved in the world, because a lot of people don't realize because it is a fighting game, Mortal Kombat is very intricate with its mythology and world building and things like that. So I just love being in that world. And then when I also found out that the director wanted to keep this adaptation faithful to the original games with how graphic it is, like I always say, if you're a fan of my channel, you've been watching me for a while, you already know what I'm about to say. Things I love in my fantasy are blood, sex, gore, and magic. I probably should have wore that shirt for this, but you know, Mortal Kombat, so there you go. That says it right there. And so yeah, getting into the story for this 2021 version of Mortal Kombat, the synopsis for it is: hunted by the fearsome warrior Sub-Zero, MMA fighter Cole Young finds sanctuary at the temple of Lord Raiden. Training with experienced fighters Liu Kang, Kung Lao, and the rogue mercenary Kano, Cole prepares to stand with Earth's greatest champions to take on enemies from Outworld in a high-stakes battle for the universe. And I don't know what's going on this weekend. It's like they just want me to be angry, or not angry, but so disappointed, because I was disappointed in the finale of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, something that I was super excited about. And I was just as excited, or probably not just as excited, but I was excited for Mortal Kombat to finally be able to watch this live adaptation because I thought it was going to be good. And then I watched it and I was like, what the hell is this? And the thing about this movie that now gets me super nervous, because the story and the way it was written and the dialogue and how predictable things were, and then the fact that, I don't know, I just feel like this movie treated its audience as if it was dumb. Like, that gets me nervous, honestly, for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, because when you look at who wrote this Mortal Kombat movie, it is the same writer who wrote Wonder Woman 1984, and I'm just like, and granted, I mean, I said I liked Wonder Woman 1984, but then when I sat with it more and more, and especially as all this time has passed, I'm like, yeah, that movie had a lot of problems. And then you find out that he wrote this movie, and then it turns out that he is the writer of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And for the most part, Marvel has put out pretty good movies, but at the same time, I'm like, now I've seen 2 movies this guy wrote, and I'm not a fan of either one of them, really. And I'm like, please don't do this to Shang-Chi. I really want that movie to be epic, because Mortal Kombat was not that. And I saw some people online when people were saying that they didn't like Mortal Kombat, and they were like, well, it's a Mortal Kombat, it's based on a video game, like what were you expecting, Citizen Kane? And it's like, no, I wasn't expecting this to be The Color Purple or The Best Man or the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman or Sounder or any of those types of movies, but I expected this movie to at least treat its audience with a little modicum of respect. Like, I get there are going to be people that watch this movie that are not avid fans of Mortal Kombat, maybe played the first game back in the day or never played any of the games, and so you have to explain things. That's with any movie. Like, I just felt like everything in this movie was over-explained, and it's like, you don't have to do that. And then even when they introduce certain characters, the way the line delivery for their introduction, it's like, this guy is Kano, the defender of Earthrealm. And it's like, all right. Like, I just think about all the animated adaptations of Mortal Kombat and how much seriously they took it and how better the world and the dialogue. But like, honestly, a better Mortal Kombat movie to watch that just came out recently is Scorpion's Revenge. And even though this 2021 movie had a higher production budget, had greater fight choreography, honestly, I would rather watch the 1995 movie because at least the storyline was better in that movie and they took itself at least a little bit more seriously. Now, take with that what you will. I'm not saying the 1995 movie is actually good, but in terms of the story and even the dialogue, that movie is better than this one. And I don't understand that because, yeah, overall, like the fight choreography in this movie was good. And I can honestly see why they released the first 7 minutes of the movie because that was one of the best parts of the movie. And then they talk about this movie being for fans of the video game franchise, but then you get this introduction of this character named Cole Young, and you're like, who the fuck is Cole Young? There's no Cole Young in Mortal Kombat. And I feel bad for saying that because ever since Iron Fist, I've been a fan of Louis Tan, and I really want Louis Tan to have a much bigger name in Hollywood because I think he's good. And not only just that, I think he's good looking too, but yet despite that, like, this movie wasn't it. And I'm not blaming him on it, I'm just saying, but because this is basically his starring role, like, he was basically the lead actor of this movie, like, I want it better for him, and I want it better for this movie. And then I also feel like a lot of the characters that we do love in the Mortal Kombat franchise, they got pushed to the background for this Cole Young character. Like Liu Kang, the champion of the Mortal Kombat universe, like, his character was sidelined, and you didn't really get much from the character of Liu Kang. The character of Scorpion, Hanzo Hasashi, the most you got from him was from the beginning. And yes, you got a little bit more from him. I'm not going to say, you know, what it was because of spoilers. But then even with that, I was like, really? Like, this is like, this came out of nowhere. Where did this come from? And I mean, I thought some of the line delivery was clunky. I mean, actually, the best character to watch was actually the person that played Kano. He was the best actor in this movie. And even with that, I kind of feel like this movie didn't necessarily know what it wanted to be. Did it want to take itself seriously? Did it want to be a comedy? Because you got the character of Kano that was basically a comedian the whole movie. And not that I had a problem with that, but I was just like, this movie doesn't know which tone it wants to juggle. I don't know what happened, but I recorded like a good 3-minute chunk that suddenly, I don't know, it disappeared while I was editing. So this is my insert, and I'm gonna try to repeat some of what I said. But basically, another big part of the problem I had with this movie is the thing that you connect with basically all movies or a lot of movies is character work. And for the most part, the characters in this movie were bland. They sucked. Like, you think of how intricate and giant and expansive the lore in Mortal Kombat in the video game world is. And one of the big characters in Mortal Kombat is Liu Kang. He is the champion of Earthrealm. And Liu Kang, played by Ludi Lin, like, I felt like his character was just there. Like, there was nothing to his character. And that's with basically all of the characters. Aside from Kano, none of these characters were characters. Like, yes, you had Louis Tan's Cole being the main character in this movie. He was the POV character. He was the person that was introducing you to this world. But for the most part, like, what was his personality? Like, he had no personality. And this isn't on the actor. I blame this on the writing and the directing. And also with that, like, this is a show about a fighting tournament. He was, like, in terms of his character, he was the worst fighter in the movie. So I was like, what is his purpose? Why is he even there? And I'm not talking about Louis Tan. Louis Tan is a trained martial artist. But in terms of how Cole was written, what was his purpose? And part of what makes the Mortal Kombat franchise work, besides the fighting, is the lore and the characters. Like, people come back to see more of what's going on with Sonya Blade, Raiden, Liu Kang, Kung Lao, Johnny Cage, which he wasn't even in this movie. They really could have used Johnny Cage in this movie. Talk about a character with some personality, because this movie had no personality. And the character of Jax, like, he had no character at all. Like, he was just there just because, you know, they wanted to add a black character to the movie. But in terms of the character of Jax that you know from the games, like, what was it to him? And then, like, they had the moments from the games where, you know, he gets his arms ripped off and they get replaced by metal arm, robotic arms. But in terms of how that developed and things, there's certain things with the storyline, and it's just like, okay, how does that make sense? Like, how do you explain that? And it's just like, they didn't explain it. It was just like, you know that from the game, right? It's just like the game. Get excited, guys. It's just like, no, I need a reason for that to exist. Like, there was no reason. And then also, I need a reason for this character to be there. Who is this character? I don't know anything about this version of Jax. They barely touch on the relationship that he even has with Sonya Blade. Like, they had like one scene together in the entire movie. I feel like if anything, you could just look up some of the fight scenes on YouTube. I'm pretty sure somebody put it on YouTube. And that's all you really need for this movie. Because the actual storyline regarding this, it was terrible. And this kind of solidifies an opinion that I have where I feel like Mortal Kombat would work better as a television series with a Game of Thrones level budget than it does as a movie. Unless it's animated, because again, a better movie is Scorpion's Revenge. So if you haven't seen Scorpion's Revenge, I definitely recommend checking that out. And I actually reviewed it, what was it, last year or the year before? So if you want, you can check that out too. But yeah, I don't know. Overall, I mean, I'm glad I didn't pay to see this in theaters. I didn't hate the movie. The fight scenes were decent. I did love the level of blood, no sex, gore, and magic. So I would say Mortal Kombat 2021 barely broke even. But I know there are people that enjoyed the movie. So the question is, what did you guys think of the 2021 version of Mortal Kombat? Have you seen Scorpion's Revenge? If you haven't, go watch that. But yeah, what did you think of this movie? Let me know down in the comment section below. Also, if you can, hit that thumbs up button and like this video to really help out with the channel. And if this is one of your first time checking out one of my videos, please check out the other videos on my channel. And if you like what you see, please subscribe for more and hit that bell notification button so you're alerted every single time I post a new video. And tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. And by the time this video posts, today, Saturday, April 24th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be on Movie Files' YouTube channel and we will be talking about The Falcon and the Winter Soldier and then also some more Marvel news. So if you're interested in checking that out, join us over at the Movie Files channel. So hope to see you there. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.